For centuries, humans have been growing alongside our botanical brethren. Our histories have mixed and mingled to bring us modern medical marvels, faded folklore, and everything in between. Of course, in order to understand the plant, we have to start with its roots. I'm M. Grebner-Gaddis, and this is Rooted.
Hello, and welcome back to another week of Rooted. This week we're digging into a plant from Western tropical Africa, known for its use in everything from witch trials to modern-day medicine, the Calabar bean. The Calabar bean, or Physostigma venenosum, is commonly also known as the Ordeal bean, and is a member of the Fabaceae family, with famous cousins like peas, gorse, chickpeas, and many, many more. It's native to what is now Nigeria, and prefers loose, well-draining soil with plenty of moisture. And much like most of its Fabaceae family, it really isn't picky when it comes to soil, but it does prefer bright, indirect sunlight if it can get it. This tall perennial climber can reach up to about 50 feet tall, with a growth pattern like any other bean or pea, stretching its tiny tendrils up to the tippy top of really whatever it can climb. It gets its scientific name Physostigma because of the funny little growth that can be found in the center of its pink heart-shaped flowers. The growth is said to resemble a beak, and while at first glance one might assume it's completely solid, like most stigma tend to be, this one is actually completely hollow. But that's not exactly what makes this plant notable. Instead, the Calabar bean's claim to fame are the faba bean-sized dark brown seeds it produces in groups of 3. They are nearly indistinguishable from other commonly eaten beans in its native region. However, the beans of the Calabar bean are actually highly toxic, and have been used throughout history as a means to both save and take lives. The Ethic people of Old Calabar, what is now Nigeria, turned to this plant for ages as a sort of judge and jury in their criminal and witchcraft trials. See, because the bean is highly toxic, but can also cure a variety of ailments, it was believed that the bean was actually able to determine if a person was guilty, bewitched, or possessed. The idea here was that anyone who was truly pure of soul wouldn't actually die from eating the bean, but would instead vomit out whatever impurities or toxins may have cast doubt on their character. On the other hand, a person who truly was guilty or impure would die, as the bean wouldn't be able to cleanse them, and would instead kill them. With that idea in mind, it's easy to see how in the age of folk magic, you could assume that you had stumbled upon a perfect way to keep peace and remove human error from the judicial process. However, in practice, this obviously couldn't have been further from the truth. The poison that's contained in the so-called Ordeal bean is known as physostigmine, and it's contained inside the flesh of the bean. The protective sheath around the bean actually prevents the poison from being released until it's already being processed in the digestive tract. This meant that those who swallowed the bean whole were less affected by the poison because they wouldn't start feeling the effects until it was already on its way out. However, for those who didn't know the trick, or were maybe a little more on the nervous side, they may have chewed the bean, cracking that protective layer and allowing the toxins to enter their bloodstream much earlier in the digestive process. This would result in a painful death filled with nausea, vomiting, vision loss, and seizures. While the Calabar bean has gained a reputation as a prolific poison, it's also been known to heal a variety of ailments from stomach issues to glaucoma. In stomach issues, it not unexpectedly works as a diuretic, with physostigmine affecting the movement of signals between muscles and nerves in many parts of the body, and in the bowels. It also induces paralytic contraction and decreases water absorption from inside the colon, which provides relief from constipation. Physostigmine is also used to prevent the worsening of glaucoma because of the way it impacts those muscles and nerves in the eyes. When it comes to physostigmine, though, there is too much of a good thing. Because it inhibits the breakdown of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, this can cause a buildup in the brain, which leads to nausea, paralysis, and even death. To avoid such devastating side effects, modern medicine has found a way to synthesize phytostigmine for the use of drugs of the same name, helping to ensure that the drug is given at a safe dosage and under the careful watch of trained medical professionals. For this reason, I can't suggest the Calabar Bean as the next Tums, but I can vouch for the Ordeal Bean being an amazing name and conversation starter. While you aren't walking away from this episode with a new herbal remedy or plant head to kiss on your next hike, I hope you at least added a few new fun facts to your arsenal for your next party, and got a good survival tip for if you ever find yourself in a good old-fashioned witch trial. That's all I've got for this week, but I'll catch you next week with more tall tales and true facts about the plants that grow around us. See you then!
If you like the show, please consider subscribing and leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you listen. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at rooted.pod, we're on YouTube at rooted.podcast, and you can check out our website, rootedpod.com, for transcripts, updates, and so much more. Special thanks to Eric Cluxon for writing and performing our theme music, and of course, a special thank you to all of you for being here. Until next time, be kind to yourselves, be kind to the earth, and just like a plant, drink your water.